Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I thank the Holy Spirit, and I thank Prime Minister and colleagues. I thank the Prime Minister for an opportunity to continue to serve in his cabinet, and I thank the people of Vieux-Fort North for continuing to support me and continuing to give me love, continuing to pray for me as I continue to work in their best interests. Mr. Speaker, I support the estimates of revenue and expenditure as presented by the Minister for Finance for 2025-2026. Speaker, there is no doubt. I never had any doubt, Mr. Speaker. I never had any doubt about the ability of the member for Castries East. We in this cabinet never had any doubts about the leadership of the Member of Parliament for Castries East, Mr. Speaker. But there is no doubt, the evidence demonstrates, Mr. Speaker, that there is no doubt that this Member of Parliament for Castries East leads this economy, provides leadership to this country. And what do you find? Progress, economic progress, all kinds of progress in this country, Mr. Speaker. Look at the performance. Look at the surpluses. And the member for Choiseul has a problem with that. Why do we have surpluses? And how did we get to these surpluses? And he went on to explain what he thinks are the negatives. But look at the difference, Mr. Speaker, between the results of this Prime Minister and the results of the former Prime Minister when he existed, Mr. Speaker. Look at the results. It's like night and day. Under this Prime Minister and the Member for Parliament for Castries East, Mr. Speaker, unemployment is down. The economy continues to grow year in, year out since he came into office, since we came into office. The economy is expanding. This Prime Minister has skillfully created the fiscal space for us to take care of our less fortunate, Mr. Speaker, and to provide even more social services, and the member for Choiseul-Saltibus admitted it openly today. Mr. Speaker, the people of Castries East must be proud today, Mr. Speaker. The people of Castries East must really be proud of their parliamentary representative. The whole country is proud. The people of Vieux-Fort North are proud of this Prime Minister and our government, Mr. Speaker. Generally, St. Lucians are proud. No huge consultancies, Mr. Speaker. No high-cost companies to prepare our budget. Just committed St. Lucians, committed public servants who are allowed to do their work, Mr. Speaker. We trust our officials, Mr. Speaker. We trust our officials. We work with them. And look at what has happened, Mr. Speaker. Look at the budget. We trust our doctors and our nurses. We trust them, Mr. Speaker. We believe in our technicians, Mr. Speaker. We believe in our St. Lucians. We know our St. Lucians can do it, Mr. Speaker. And look at the budget. Look at it. Mr. Speaker, I just want to take a few seconds because just a few hours ago, I learned of another death of a member of an extended family. And this family has had so many deaths over the last 2-3 months, Mr. Speaker. Some of the deaths from accidents, you may have heard of the breadfruit tree incidents, 2 of them in the constituency of Vieux-Fort North. And also Guilo, our cultural hero, who was buried recently, is from the same family. I continue to ask the good Lord to give them peace and also to give peace to all families who suffer as a result of the deaths of their family members. I wish to thank my team at the constituency, the staff at the constituency office, the comrades who are in the field working. I wish to thank the staff at the Ministry of Health, the Permanent Secretary, Ms. Jenny Daniel, and the whole team. And I wish to say to Ms. Florius, who's recovering, speedy recovery and blessings. I wish to thank my family, Mr. Speaker, for continuing to bear with me this responsibility. And thanks to all those who continue to pray for me and care for me, those who love me, those who care for me, who pray for me all the time. Thank you to all of my constituents. Mr. Speaker, the Member of Parliament for Choiseul Saltibus speaks about the police. In the policy debate, Mr. Speaker, we will have a chance to go through this. But why now? They allowed the police to languish the northern headquarters, Mr. Speaker. We'll speak more about that in the policy debate. They allowed the headquarters in the south to rot, Mr. Speaker. No money in the training vote for the police. And now they have the audacity to play as if they're speaking about the police. They have no love for the police, Mr. Speaker. And if they respected the police, they would not hold little balls with all kinds of fancy pink hats just to show as if they love the police. They would have put money in the real budget for the police. The Member of Parliament for Choiseul Saltibus spoke about Comfort Bay, and I agree with him that we have many senior citizens all around St. Lucia, Mr. Speaker, who need assistance. And the facility at Comfort Bay can only hold a certain number of individuals. Right now, we are actually doing work, and work has been contracted or is in the process of being contracted out to change some of the offices so that we can secure more space. And then there is a lot of land. We are hoping in the future that we can expand the facility. But, Mr. Speaker, you'll note that the Prime Minister has allocated an additional $1 million to assist with the elder care program, which hopefully will bring some relief. But this issue about older people in St. Lucia, it's not just about taking them and putting them in homes. There's a wider conversation which we need to have with families and how we deal with dementia, and training for families, and how we deal with this thing where many individuals don't know how to deal with their elder relatives. It is a wider conversation and not just one for institutions. I want to say to you, Mr. Speaker, I wish to spend some time just to remind you and the Parliament of the brilliance of the work of this Prime Minister. This government has been projecting a primary surplus at the end of every fiscal year for 3 consecutive years, Mr. Speaker. And I quote from the Prime Minister's speech, which he delivered on Tuesday. Based on preliminary information, a primary surplus of 77 million is projected, equivalent to 1.1% of GDP. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, a current surplus of 141 million is projected for fiscal year 2024-2025, Mr. Speaker. A primary surplus, an overall surplus. Mr. Speaker, the government's prudent debt management strategy will yield better than expected results compared to the initial projections in 2024-2025 estimates, with the overall deficit narrowing to 147.9 million from previously projected 214 million, or 66 million less, as a result of good management, Mr. Speaker. So this is where I begin. Good management. And if you compare it to the management of the last government, which the Member of Choiseul Saltibus was a part of, and in the policy debate, we can look at it. And we are going to look at it pre-COVID and post-COVID, Mr. Speaker. You can see that the management of this economy by the Member of Parliament for Castries East and Minister for Finance and Prime Minister is different to what the leader of the opposition managed and how he managed it. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, this whole budget debate, the debate on the estimates, will prove to St. Lucians that they can never leave our economy in the hands of the leader of the opposition ever, ever again, Mr. Speaker. I'm going to give you just 20 actions. 20 actions that were taken by this government to continue to put our people first. And we were able to take these actions. The Minister for Finance was able to do it because of his dexterity, because of his management of the economy, how malleable and how ductile he made the management of the economy. Because of that, Mr. Speaker, he was able, we owed over $80 million in land acquisition costs, Mr. Speaker. And I'm reading again from the Prime Minister's speech. And for decades and generations, we owed people whose lands were, we had land acquisition, Mr. Speaker. A total of $75 million were owed to suppliers for COVID-19 and pre-COVID-19 pandemic purchases, Mr. Speaker. We spent $40 million for land acquisitions, $25 million for the health sector supplies, totaling $65 million in expenditures. So when the member of Parliament for Choiseul Saltibus talks about surpluses, Misa nou ka fek surplus la. Ou sa nou ka fe pi, Mr. Speaker? Instead of giving access to our land at $1 per acre for 99 years, we were paying the people whose lands the government, we had acquisitions over for generation and generation and generation. That's what we're doing, Mr. Speaker. We also paid $8 million to WASCO to settle some of its pressing financial obligations. Another $10 million in support to the Millennium Heights Medical Complex to meet its obligations, Mr. Speaker. Millions of dollars left over by the leader of the opposition as Prime Minister in debt to the Millennium Heights Medical Complex coming out of Victoria Hospital, Mr. Speaker. We paid $10 million. C'est ça nous de café. 500 bonus paid to civil servants in December of 2024, Mr. Speaker, amounting to $7 million. When they were there, Mr. Speaker, there were talks. Anytime they had a little pressure, there were talks of cutting public servant salaries. That's what they were thinking about. Instead, what did we do, Mr. Speaker? Because of the malleable handling of the economy, what did we do? We paid $33.4 million in back pay to public servants, Mr. Speaker. That's the difference. A salary increase, Mr. Speaker, to the public servants. And you know what they were talking about? One of them said when they were in government that they can drop 60% of the public service and still survive, Mr. Speaker. That's what they were saying. Instead, we paid salary increases to the public servants. $500 in bonus to all pensioners in December of 2024, Mr. Speaker. An increase in minimum pensions to NIC pensioners to $500. An increase in minimum pensions to public service pensioners to over $700. That is what we were doing, Mr. Speaker. A lump sum payment to all pensioners of $500. That is what we were doing as a government. A one-time payment of $600 to all pensioners in November 2024. That is what we were doing. And while we are doing this, they are laughing at the government and criticizing the government for assisting 80-year-olds in this country, Mr. Speaker. So while they are cursing us for helping 80-year-olds, we are increasing the salaries of pensioners, Mr. Speaker. That's the work we are doing. That is the kind of work we are doing, Mr. Speaker. And there is so much more. A one-time payment of $1,400 made to all teachers for materials allowance. An enactment of a minimum wage. $10.4 million in public assistance. $2.8 million in grants, social grants. $8 million to facilitate back pay of employees of eligible statutory organizations. Provided 260 students summer employment. Training of 79 new police recruits. $20 million to facilitate tax refunds, rebuilding of the Larry Shoes Health Center, opening of Betty Wells Urban Polyclinic, and so on. These are just 20, Mr. Speaker. 20 direct benefits to our people, direct to St. Lucians, as a result of the prudent management of the economy by the Member of Parliament for Castries East, Mr. Speaker. You were there from 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, these 4 years. And plus, past 2021, in terms of the close to a month after you were supposed to have demitted office. And you compare it to our time and come up with your list of the things that you did directly for St. Lucians, deliberate policy, which benefited St. Lucians, ordinary business people and otherwise. And you can see that your approach was different to ours. That's why you failed as a manager of the economy. You failed. You failed. And you failed brilliantly. Because your failure was shining all over the country. Unemployment was high. Selling away of our lands. Bringing horses instead of hospitals. Giving $25 million to a consultancy firm to move Victoria Hospital to OKEU. And you are actually saying that nobody in St. Lucia could do it. It's only them that could do it. You all said that? That's right. That it's only that consulting company that could move the hospital from Victoria to Owen King EU to Millennium Heights Medical Complex. So you'll give them a contract for $25 million while the roof of OKEU was not good. That's what you all were doing. Failing brilliantly. So, Mr. Speaker, when you speak about what we are doing with the surpluses and so on, oops, sorry, sister. Sorry, sir. I want you to understand that we were working, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the Prime Minister again for his leadership. Thanks to Comrade Minister Wayne Girard also, because Minister Wayne Girard is being guided by the Prime Minister and is giving the Prime Minister great support. Great support, Mr. Speaker. I promised the people of Vieux North, Mr. Speaker, to build and develop a constituency around education, economic opportunities, small and micro businesses, increase access to improved health care and support to the vulnerable, Mr. Speaker. We know that improving infrastructure, especially roads, Mr. Speaker, is very critical to our constituency. Mr. Speaker, Head 42 Education, last year over 400 parents benefited from bursaries to assist with school expenses, university, tertiary, secondary. That is in addition to the $500 each parent received. The hiring of 24 principal assistants will benefit the constituency of Vieux North. There are schools, all the schools need principal assistants, but I know the ministry can only do some. The rehabilitation of major schools, Mr. Speaker, I'm very proud to announce that after over 30 years, for the first time, the Piero Combined School in Vieux North, if you go there now, it's not if you shoulda or woulda or coulda, you know. If you go to Vieux North now as we speak, to the Piero Combined School, a new wing is being built, the pillars are already up, Afro-Exim Bank project, and I wish to thank the Prime Minister and the Minister for Education for including the Piero Combined School in this project, Mr. Speaker. I did promise the people when we were campaigning that we are going to reconstruct the school. So we will do it in phases and we will continue. Also, Mr. Speaker, early childhood education, the procurement of Chromebooks, our people will benefit. In youth and sports, I wish to congratulate the veterans football team for Vieux North for winning the national competition, Mr. Speaker. There is an increase for youth and sports councils in the budget, and the Vieux North Youth and Sports Council is continuing to increase activity, Mr. Speaker, and I wish to give them some support. Sporting equipment, more sporting equipment will be given to the young people and older people who wish to participate in sports. The Bellevue Playing Field Rehabilitation Project, Mr. Speaker, is ongoing. We had some major delays, but we have some people have been contracted to build the drains through the Constituency Development Program, and they will begin very soon. And the Ministry of Sports is in discussion with the gentleman who's going to do the surfacing of the field, and we are also going to build changing room. The lights are already up, Mr. Speaker. The Piero Playing Field, I don't want to make any announcements now, but I'm very excited about what will happen at the Piero Playing Field, so the people of Piero can look forward to some very exciting news very soon. We have started work on the Mont Cayenne Playing Field, and the others like Opicon and Vigier will come next. Mr. Speaker, infrastructure, Head 43, is very critical. Some of the most important challenges for Vieux North has to do with roads. Mr. Speaker, I'm very pleased that last year, the Minister for Infrastructure announced that we are going to start major road rehabilitation, and the long-awaited completion to the Zabo to Bellevue Road, Mr. Speaker, is well on the way. Because we may say gouvernement, Mr. Speaker, pour chime Zabo pour Bellevue, because we know the history, Mr. Speaker, and there's a story to be told. When we were in government, we started from Opicon to go to Bellevue. We said we were doing it in 2 phases. We reached Zabo with all drainage and so on from Opicon to Zabo. But the last government, Mr. Speaker, did nothing from Zabo to Bellevue. Nothing. And the people suffered because they voted for the St. Lucia Labour Party. I am very pleased, Mr. Speaker, that if you go to that area now and you drive on that road, you will see a totally different situation. I wish to say that we continue to be very hopeful. We know that discussions have taken place, estimates have been done, the engineers have been working on the estimates for the Grace Road to take us all the way up to the start of Woodlands and from Woodlands to the top. We know that's been done, and I'm very hopeful. I look forward to the start of this road. We have a very serious situation at Canals. The Canals Road from the main road going into Vigier is almost impassable, and I know also that designs have been done, and we will see some relief very soon. The Bamboo to Bellevue Road, Mr. Speaker, going through the Seventh-day Adventist Church, the Kako Seventh-day Adventist Church, that road is also being considered. And in fact, I know the residents have raised concerns, some of them with videos and so on, Mr. Speaker. And I want to say to the residents that we do care about your road, and it is part of the package of relief that we are looking into. The Hope Estate Road is a very important road, an historic road. That was the first road, there was no road going through Grace or Bellevue. That was the road to Castries. And so we have decided to start in a phased way with drains to deal with that road, Mr. Speaker. I look forward to the continuation of road infrastructure in Vieux-Fort North, and I look forward to the rest of the work which will be done. In 2006, I came into politics, parliamentary politics. We lost. We stayed in opposition for 5 years. We got nothing. In 2011, we won. We started some roads in Vieux-Fort North, both primary roads and small community roads. We lost in 2016. After 2016, nothing substantial was done, nothing except some potholing here and there. So 2021, we came in, and some substantial work has been done in some areas in Vieux-Fort North, and I'm looking forward, Mr. Speaker, to the rest of the road rehabilitation. As we speak, the Bois-Bleke Road, Mr. Speaker, will start very soon. Contracts have been signed. The road at Pierrot, opposite the Flow Exchange, contracts have been signed. The Montview Road, we have almost completed it. We have some issue there that we are hoping to solve. Charlery Village, we have started the road going by Mr. Justin Trim and Kearney Frank. Contracts have been signed. The Foncopesh Road, we have done a quarter of this road, and we are going to continue it. The road next to the Pierrot Catholic Church at Pierrot will be done also, the Clovis Lane, and many other community roads. Some of them, these contracts have been signed by the Constituency Development Program, and I look forward to the completion. Un chay se chimère qui nous concerne à sous, gouvernement a fait design by se chimère. Moi, je parler avec le ministre Infrastructure, avec ses ingénieurs, et moi, savent se chimère, ça va commencer tout de suite. Mais à présent, comptoirs acier, pour bois blequé, pour chimère, là, regardez, bon Alvin, ti commune qui descend là, aussi Charlery Village, Montview, nous pour finir chimère ça là, avec Hope Estate, Laimo, Foncampèche, nous avons commencé Foncampèche avec un Charlotte chimère. Je n'ai pas ni temps pour dire toutes ces chimères, mais un Charlotte chimère, un petit chimère, mais c'est grand chimère, c'est ces chimères ça là, nous avons espéré aller avec moi savent, ministre Toavo, qui a dit pli à tout ça. Mr. Speaker, I want to say to you that we are very proud of the fact that we were able to continue the Zabo to Bellevue. Chimère Zabo pour Bellevue, là nous étions en gouvernement avant, janvier pour 9 savent, nous avons commencé chimère ça là, avec les flambeaux en tout, il n'y a pas jamais fait rien à la chimère ça là. Soit aller à la chimère ça là à présent, pour qu'il y ait une différence. Avec même différence ça là qu'il fait en Guas, même différence ça là qu'il fait en Vigier-Kako, en Canels, en Bambou, et c'est Fama en Viélite. Moi, même c'est que du bon matin, moi, j'étais en Viélite, semaine passée, et nous avons regardé qui nous a un soulagement, mais chimé ça là tout, nous avons fait. Head 41, Agriculture, Fisheries and Food Security. I'm very pleased that some work will be done on the Canals jetty. I heard somewhere Mr. Speaker, that we will be getting an ice machine. So during the break, the Minister for Agriculture, our two minds collided, and I heard somewhere that we'll be getting an ice machine for there, so I'm very happy. The support to the St. Lucia Marketing Board, Mr. Speaker, is very important. In Vieux-Fort North, the Grace Farmers Group has a facility, and, you know, a lot can happen there. I know that Export St. Lucia has given them some support, and we are ready to assist, and whatever I can do to assist the farmers. Si la nye bagay mwen sa fe, pou ede yo, avec guano, avec n'importe bagay pour aider yo produit pli, yo savent ko pou joindre moi office moi, avec magay ba yo assistance, parce que ça c'est qualité gouvernement nous ni. And that's the kind of government, Mr. Speaker, the people of St. Lucia are happy to have. That's the kind of government the people of Vieux-Fort North want to continue to support. A government that will support everybody, every sector. Pas l'autre gouvernement qui ka là yo les plateformes yo ka jouer nurse, yo ka jouer docteur, yo pas apprendre injection cette ici parce que yo ni docteur yo en Amérique, mais I'm coming to that very soon. Mr. Speaker, Tree Cup expansion is very good, and the livestock farmers at Vieux-Fort North, at Volet, I look forward to the support for there. But the farmers at Woodlands and Bamboo, Mr. Speaker, they have cried out for support. I've given them temporary support. We have gone in there to give them quarry waste and so on. But I wish to assure the farmers, Moses Rene and Isaiah and all of these farmers, all of these people up there, I want to tell you that we are coming to assist. This is a government which takes care of its people, not a government that gives $25 million to one company to write some reports, Mr. Speaker. Tourism and creative industries, I look forward to having discussions with the minister so that we can improve mass in the view in Bellevue, Mr. Speaker. The organizers have already contacted me, although it's in August, but from very early we are going to meet, to approach the Ministry of Tourism for support. We have been giving support to our artists, and I want to thank the Minister for Tourism, who has given support through his ministry to our artists in Vieux-Fort North for various activities, and I'm looking forward to that. The Prime Minister has made public, Mr. Speaker, that there will be some development in the name of Ramopoleon. I will not make any more pronouncements on this. He has made it public, but that's his pet project, and I'm going to allow the Prime Minister to speak to that. I want to look forward, Mr. Speaker, to developing a performance area in the Vevacel area in Vieux-Fort North. Vevacel, c'est un place qu'on enchaille ces gens la rose là, avec ces gens qui le tirent à Kawete. It's way out just before you approach the forest in Bellevue, Mr. Speaker. And this gentleman, Gilo, who just passed away, our cultural hero, he's from that area, Mr. Speaker. And without giving too many details, I want to develop, there's a spot which is public land, Mr. Speaker, at the end of Vevacel. We need to acquire a little more land and develop an area, an open performance area there in the name of Gilo, Mr. Speaker, so that people from all around St. Lucia and the Caribbean can come there. I know Brother Virgil Burke, who he and I had a discussion, and he too, you know, really he just received an award, Virgil Burke from Vieux-Fort, although he lives in Micoud, but he spends most of his cultural time in Vieux-Fort North, Mr. Speaker. He too is very interested in that, and he shared that idea. He and I were talking about this idea, and for Gilo, we will do something. Mr. Speaker, for housing, I wish to thank Head 48, the Member of Parliament for Castries Central, for his support in housing. Mr. Speaker, I see many times the opposition, whether it be on Facebook, in social media, on their platforms, they ridicule what we are doing in the housing program. For them, fixing a plywood house is an insult, Mr. Speaker. For them, assisting people with some galvanized is an insult, Mr. Speaker. I want to say to them, Mr. Speaker, that I thank the government. I thank the government for the support for housing, Mr. Speaker. Without mentioning names, Mr. Speaker, if you go throughout Vieux-Fort North, in almost every community, there is a house which was almost completely refurbished, or there is a house which received assistance to put their foundation into concrete, or there is a house where the galvanized was really rotten and all they needed was 10 sheets of galvanized and they came for assistance. And there is a house somewhere that needed just a step, or there is a house that needed a ramp for someone with a wheelchair, or there is a house with an elderly person who was a banana farmer and today they can't make it, but their house is falling down and they want the government. They're not begging for anything, you know, Mr. Speaker. Say, mona ki ka mande nou assistance a kayo, yo ni logay, yo pa ka beg nou pou bagay, yo ka vinek, yo ka di moussa. Sou ban galvanize la, na gen potoa. Obe sou ban potoa, na gen ciment. And that is what we are doing. There are some very vulnerable individuals. I have joined with other agencies and we completely rehabilitated the houses. And I want to thank the Ministry of Housing and the Prime Minister in particular for continuing to make this allocation. Ek pa mind yo, they're in the opposition saying that we should not do that. They are saying we should not do that. So they are saying you should not build a small house for somebody. You need a big wall house and so on because, oh, muna pa ni yon sav. You can buy you a chopin. You can do pa bay se muna chopin. Buy you gwen l'église pito. Se moun sa selewa, Mr. Speaker. They are wicked. So I want to tell the people of Vieux North, we have a long list. Be patient. We are coming to you, Mr. Speaker. Those who need some galvanized, you might need some blocks, you might need some cement. We may not be able to give you the whole house. But this government will improve your situation. This government will continue to help you. Unlike the other government, they were spending millions of dollars giving to other people. We are spending millions of dollars for the people of St. Lucia, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I thank the Prime Minister for the additional money for the caretakers. So I wish to tell the caretaker, the individuals in the caretaker program that we are coming to assist you. The CDP program, the social aspect to it, we have supported young people in Vieux North. We have supported a number of individuals who want to start their businesses. I don't want to go through all of it. The people of Vieux North know that if you have a business, a micro business, and you are into making cakes, and you have all the ingredients, but you need some assistance to buy the stove from wherever, whether it be Massey Courts, whichever place, you know you can come to the Vieux North Parliamentary Office, get your invoices, and the parliamentary representative through programs will help you. And there are a number of individuals in Vieux North, whether you are a hairdresser, a barber, people into beautification and landscaping, throughout Vieux North, Mr. Speaker, who has received assistance, and they are doing well. So we are helping them to improve their incomes, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the government for that. Mr. Speaker, I move very quickly through the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs, Mr. Speaker. The policy debate is coming, and I will have an opportunity to really go down in the boyo of the foolishness of the opposition. But for today, I will not deshlay much, Mr. Speaker. I just want to thank the Prime Minister, Mr. Speaker, for causing the overall positive variance for this year's budget, 25-26. An additional $13 million to the Ministry of Health over last year, Mr. Speaker. I wish to thank the Prime Minister. And, Mr. Speaker, we have said it publicly before. The Member of Parliament for Castries Central has said it many times in a Thursday night favorite place of many hundreds of thousands in the world. That this Prime Minister and Member of Parliament for Castries East will go down in history so far as the Prime Minister and the Minister for Finance who has allocated the most money to health in the history of St. Lucia. Quickly, in 2020-21, 183 million total, 0.1 million. 21-22, 189.5. 22-23, 186.5. 24-25, 191,077,000. 25-26, 206 million, Mr. Speaker. Now let me tell you something. If you care about somebody or some institution, don't tell the person you care about them, oh, I care about you so much. And every day you see the person has the same shoes. You know, you love that person, you care about them. As you say, you love health and the country. And you see the circumstances. Huh? You take in the resources and give it to your friends to go overseas with it. And you're not putting resources into health. You do not love the people of St. Lucia. Here is the man who loves the people. He's putting his money where his mouth is. And he's putting the economy's money where it's supposed to go. $206 million. So what are we going to do? 200,000 more in pharmacy. 78,000 more for dental. 75,000 more for infectious diseases. The Millennium Heights, 35,000 more for communication. The Millennium Heights Medical Complex, and that's another one. They talk about the Millennium Heights Medical Complex, OKEU. To hear them talk about OKEU, let me tell you what they gave OKEU. The budget for Victoria Hospital in 2019-2020 was $35,651,000. 35. In 2020-2021, the hospital was moved in March. So in 2020-2021, the budget of the Millennium Heights Medical Complex was $31 million, less than the Victoria Hospital budget. These are the people who say they love you, you know. The Victoria Hospital budget, and you can go and check it out, was $35,651,000. When it moved to Millennium Heights Medical Complex, it was $31,647,000. 21-22, them again. $31,875,000. Hear that, 22-23. Member of Parliament for Castries East. 48. In fact, $49,731,000. 23-24. Member of Parliament for Castries East. 53,394. 24-25. 62,561. And 25-26. You know what? All the love they love Millennium Heights Medical Complex. You know how much money the Member of Parliament and Prime Minister allocated this year? $70.5 million. Yes. Mr. Speaker, you can dire you content health, you can buy combien santé, combien langue chaud en la santé. Budget, l'argent you can mettre by santé. Écoutez ça. En l'année 2019, là, il y a un gouvernement. L'hôpital Victoria, tu as joué 35 millions, 25 millions de dollars. Là, il y a allé Millennium Heights Medical Complex. Ils ont baissé l'argent, ils ont baillé OKEU, au Millennium Heights Medical Complex. 21, 31, 31. L'année après ça, ils ont baillé 31, 31 encore. Là, même Parlement Castries est venu, Premier ministre nous, c'est un homme là qui est really content cette lycéen et qui est really content santé. Il mettait 49 millions, ok? 49 millions. Then, l'autre budget, il mettait 53 millions encore. Avec l'autre budget encore, nom Castries là, mettait 62 millions. 62. Avec l'année ça là. L'année ça là. Combien il met? $70 million, $70.5 million. 70 millions de dollars. C'est moun sa qui dit moi, yo content santé. Oh, health. Zo content moun tellement. Zo love moun. Hein? Moun an yon ti 3K. Il veut payer un petit bill médical. Soulier comme croisé. Zo love li tellement. Zo rapon l'argent. Et zo rame bayer l'autre moun l'autre pays. Zo ravoyer à de postal order voyer bayer l'autre moun l'autre pays. Zo selewa. Mr. Speaker, the increase in the monies given to Millennium Heights Medical Complex include a $1 million for loan repayment to Nairana Consultancy. That is the same consultants. They said it's only these consultants that can move that Burmington. These people, Mr. Speaker, said that there was nobody else in St. Lucia, no doctor in St. Lucia who could move Victoria to Millennium Heights Medical Complex. Only that company, Mr. Speaker. That's what they said. The Member of Parliament for Miku South, at his invitation and at his prodding and at his motivation, his government said that. So the doctors and nurses in St. Lucia who actually moved the hospital by themselves, I want you to hear that. They said, their government said nobody in St. Lucia, not Dr. King, not Dr. Didier, God bless his soul, not Dr. Rommel, not Dr. name them, Dr. St. Rose, not Dr. The UWP government said that none of these doctors could move the hospital. So they had to employ a consultant. And they said that was the only, the firm had, that's the only body with the expertise to move the hospital from Victoria to Millennium Heights. So they started dissing St. Lucians from times. It's not now alone they're cursing and dissing doctors. They don't like us. They don't like you. These people don't like you. They believe you are worthless. They believe you have no skills. So that's why they say they have doctors, they're doctors in America. But I want to tell you something. We trust our doctors and our nurses. The nurse, from times, yes, we have issues, we have problems like everywhere else in the world. Like somebody said in a Facebook post, go and look at the number of malpractice medical suits in the US and England and Canada. I can't remember who said it, I said it on a voice note. We have issues. But for you to make our people believe that our doctors are not good, you'll not even take an injection from them? Oh my God. Huh? For you to say that? But let me tell you something. From times our doctors and nurses have been doing well. We have issues, I will not say no. I have had my own little experience. And I was born at the Viewford Health Center in 1967. And Nurse Beatrice Vincent from Labrie was the nurse who helped to give birth to me. Yes, sir. And in Viewford, everybody knows Nurse Vincent, yes, a beautiful lady, a wonderful lady. And over the years, all the nurses who we went for our injections and all kinds of injections, vaccines. Look at us here. The doctors. I have people in my constituency who had brain surgery. They fell down and they were dying in their farms. And we have a wonderful team of doctors here. Yes, we have to get some instruments and we have to improve things, I agree. But if he gets you the instruments and so on, he performs wonderful. He opens your skull, exposes your brain, fix whatever he fixes. And these people in Viewford North in their farms today, you come and tell me about our doctors? Sorry, Mr. Speaker, if I could have taken words and just knocked these people with words, just ping-pong them on the head just with words. With words. Because you can't tell me you cursing your nurses and doctors like that. But I'll tell them something, Mr. Speaker. They're just trying to fool the people, you know. They just don't want the people of Castries South East to go to the doctor. Because listen to me well, I'll tell you something. You see them in the opposition there? If their testicles start to hurt them now, they're bawling for a solution doctor. And they're bawling for a solution nurse. Right now there. You see right now there in this parliament, if their testicles begin to hurt them, before you book a ticket to the United States or Canada, or wherever you go, it is one of our nurses or doctors who will have to give you an injection in these blame places that you are. Mr. Speaker, c'est pas Jelen n'a fâché, mais ouais, l'opposition qui a dit, docteur nous pas bon, nurse nous pas bon. Nurse Vincent qui fait moi, nurse Vincent qui sort là-bas, oui. Et nous tous ni nurse qui ban nous injection, docteur, nous tout ça dit, docteur Morton, docteur King, papa Stephen King même, nous n'y combien docteur à présent, yo ka ouvert tête, calotte tête yo, mani moun vieux for neuf, c'est docteur a ouvert calotte tête yo, OK you, là ni un docteur qui master, un jeune docteur. Il a ouvert calotte tête moun, ranger 20 têtes là, vieux mais calotte tête là, coup de lit, et c'est moun en vivre neuf, en les femmes yo, happy and good. Ou ka vinn di moi about doctor nous cette ici, ou pas vle pour injection because ou ka aller en me week. Ça me ka di a. Si testicles yo ka fait yo mal à présent. Mr. Speaker, see ça fait now. All I want to say to you, Mr. Speaker, is all those who are saying that they don't trust our doctors.
Member, you have 50 minutes left, member.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. They are just trying to fool you because they want your vote. So they don't want you to go to the hospitals because they want your vote. But when something happens to them, they are the first ones to run to the doctors in St. Lucia at whatever hospital. So don't let them fool you. Before they can book the ticket that they say they're going to the United States or Canada or wherever they have their favorite doctors, a nurse here or a doctor here must give them that injection or stabilize them. So I get upset when I hear that nonsense. And so, Mr. Speaker, the people of St. Lucia, the people of Castries Southeast, the people of St. Lucia, the people of Micoud South, the people of Choiseul will have to decide whether you will take these same people who dissing your nurse, who dissing your doctor, cursing them, and put them back in power. You can't do that. We, Mr. Speaker, there are limitations in health, and we have acknowledged that. We are working with the doctors in St. Lucia, and the nurses, and the officials of the ministry, through many programs which I will talk about in the policy debate. And I will show you the progress. And I will ask them the question, when they were there, show me the new programs and show me the evidence. Not just what you want to say. Huh? Show me the evidence of the change that you made. How many new men attended men's clinics? How many new people went to get their prostate checked without paying? How many new ladies in your time got new cervical cancer screening? How many got free maternal and child care? If you have to look at in the health centers, through the CMO's office, how many? Show me the evidence. Show me the evidence. How many additional services did you add? Okay? How many health centers did you fix? Although you're boasting about health centers in 2015, which has started under Alvina Reynolds, and the evidence is there. I waited for them to speak because I have it. And we are debating about who started this and who started that. We're talking about your attitude to the people of St. Lucia, your attitude to the medical professionals, your attitude to these people who have sacrificed and continue to sacrifice every day for us. We don't have all the resources, and a lot of these doctors can go anywhere in the world, but they stay here. The nurses who have stayed, you cursing them and you say nonsense about them. And you as a leader, you ain't saying nothing. That's the thing. Because you too probably believe you have your doctor somewhere. But you should pray to God. All of us should pray to God that nothing happens to us. Because these doctors you all think you'll have over there, the doctors don't have to see you first. Sometimes you may not even be able to go on the plane or the helicopter. A doctor here has to see you, undress you, and juke you with that injection that you say they can't give you. But anyway, Mr. Speaker, God is a good God. God is a good God. We continue to provide support to the Urban Polyclinic, the National Eye Clinic, Biomedical Department. We continue to provide support to supply equipment, Mr. Speaker, through the Health System Strengthening Project and the OECS project. I wish to say that a number of facilities are being refurbished, Grosile Polyclinic, Soufrière Hospital. I also want to announce that Babuno, the Cicero, the consultant is working with the Cicero Wellness Center I have met with the consultant for Cicero, and very soon the consultant will meet with the rep so that a decision can be made about the exact spot, whether it's the new health center in a new spot. There are some options. So the Cicero, Cicero and Lacroix, because the consultant is also looking at Lacroix. Canneries, the contract has been signed. And I also want to announce, Mr. Speaker, c'est pas nous qui dernier. I also want to announce that on Wednesday coming, 2nd of April, Wednesday evening, there's going to be a consultation at the Grace Combined School in Vieux-Fort North with the public, with the people of Grace, because the Grace Wellness Center will be completely refurbished, Mr. Speaker, completely refurbished. So, je dis tout gens goas. Like I need a meeting à l'école là, mercredi, parce que c'est Jean Ministry of Health là qui est venu et parler avec qui ça qui fait un health center goas là. Nous avons completely refurbished. Ça veut dire équipement neuf. Nous avons changé chaque bagage, fait un building. Nous n'avons pas changé whole building là, mais nous avons un building neuf. So in Vieux-Fort North also, the Grace Wellness Center will be built. So I want to say to you, Mr. Speaker, the universal healthcare program will continue, and we are very close to the financing model which we will present to Cabinet. And I hear a lot of this thing about health insurance. Oh, they had health insurance. They'll continue with health insurance. Key health insurance you think here? What health insurance they had, Mr. Speaker? What health insurance they had? They're just pie in the sky. We can show real results in universal health coverage. Real, tangible results. All they are talking about is hot air. Or they had insurance and they'll bring back health care. The same time they're telling you they have insurance and they'll bring back health care, they're cursing the doctors and cursing the nurses and dissing them and telling them they are worth nothing. They'll go to America and Canada. But they're telling you they have health insurance. They're just trying to fool you, Mr. Speaker. And I want to tell you, we on this side are taking this business of health financing seriously and step by step. One of the first things you have to do is to ensure that the systems in the public health sector, if a patient goes to St. Jude and they see the doctor, and tomorrow they go to OKEU, you must go into your computer and make sure these systems are talking, and they go to the health center in Vieux-Fort or Labrie. You must be able to track patients and have baseline data. We're not coming out and boasting about these things, but we are doing fundamental things with the help of professionals and the ministry to transform healthcare, not just talk about it. Yes, there are times we lack medication. Yes, there are times we lack certain things. But what does this government do? Instead of quarreling with the medical professionals, we put more money in the budget. That's the real thing we do. And instead of fighting with people, we get the money and we solve the problems. That's what we do. That's the kind of government that the Member of Parliament for Castries East leads. And so I say to you, Mr. Speaker, I support these estimates because I see in these estimates, as I close, that the people of Vieux-Fort North will benefit. I see in these estimates that every sector, commerce, with opening of the new office, this is the future that we are presenting to the people of Vieux-Fort North and to St. Lucia. Nous avons un premier ministre qui a mis un bagay by tout le monde. Si vous êtes un pensioner, if you're a pensioner, there are increases for you. If you are a medical professional, we are working with you to improve the situation. If you live at Grace, we are going to fix the health center. The roads for the farmers at Woodlands, Zabo to Bellevue, Canals, Hope Estate, we are going to work on these roads for you. The youth, we are helping you with your small business and your education. All around, Mr. Speaker, housing,
Remember,
agriculture,
you have 5 minutes left.
Agriculture, Mr. Speaker, education with laptops and the Piro Combined School, foreign affairs, Mr. Speaker, getting assistance so that we benefit in Vieux-Fort North, gender affairs, everywhere you look, Mr. Speaker, tourism and creative industries. This budget has something for the people of Vieux-Fort North, and that's why I support this Prime Minister. His performance in the economy, Mr. Speaker, you cannot compare it to the leader of the opposition. You cannot at all. You can't compare that. La pani pièce challenge. La pani pièce carada against hot, the cool, and the vicious. La pani rien comme ça. C'est just starring the Member of Parliament for Castries East. Can just stop out here toutes les. Li can stop out here. La pani pièce comparison, Mr. Speaker. He's the champion. So I say to you, Mr. Speaker, we trust the people of St. Lucia. We trust the professionals. We'll work with them. We'll make mistakes, but we'll continue to work with them. But our record shows in healthcare and in the constituencies that we are delivering to the people of St. Lucia. We are putting people first. Whether you are a retiree, a youth, a baby, a nurse, a doctor, whether you are at the hospitals, and before I sit, this government will never disrespect you. This government will never disrespect you. This Prime Minister and this government will never, ever disrespect you, Mr. Speaker. They will never call you backing dogs and jackasses and say you mendicants, you can't give injection, you all that foolishness. We believe in you, and we look forward to working with you, the people of St. Lucia, for the next 5 to 10 years. Do not let the leader of the opposition near the pot in the kitchen at all. Because they let lapo chicken back like ukai pedli. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.